Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning. We'll have a reading class and discussion later on. Let's start with the Radha Madhav first of all. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari, Gopijana Vallabha, Jayo Giravardhari, Gopijana Vallabha, Jayo Giravardhari, Yashodanandana Vrajjana Ranjana, Yashodaranjana Vrajjana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hari Hari Bol. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjanashlakya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthaktam Yena Bhutale Sam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapanantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajim Sadhvetam Savadutam Krishna Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shiva Kanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavan Vishwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pran Mami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpato Vrihescha Kripa Sindhu Vicha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasti Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Mukham Koti Vachalam Pangum Nangyatagrim Yat Kirpataham Vandashi Gundin Taranam Paramnanda Madhvam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram Narayam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Niruttamam Devim Saraswati Tato Jemuduriyat Nashta Presha Abdureshu Nityam Bhagavad-Sevayā Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Neshtiki Hare Krishna Jai. So thank you for joining. So on Friday we were completing why Krishna is supreme, or we're establishing why Krishna is supreme and is the only worshipful Lord. We'll just continue bit more here, and then also verses 30, 31, 32, and then we'll do 33 and 34 on Wednesday. Along with, we'll do a quick summary of what we have done so far. That'd be nice, just to catch up what we've done in Canto 1, what we've done in Canto 2, where we are now. Canto 2. Chapter 2, yes. Okay, thank you. So Chapter 1, Chapter 2 of Canto 1, we will do a summary, a quick summary, and then you get the main summary on Friday evening, 8 till 9 p.m. with His Grace Tribhanga Prabhu, as a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and you see in his biodata, it's amazing. His journey has been so wonderful. And you need like fearless people on this journey who can do things. People like me who just keep thinking, they really go around circles, but you need fearless people if they're going to make a difference. So let's make a start. And I'll stop sharing that. Wonderful. Okay. So this is verse 30. Sa evadam sas jagre bhagwan atam maya sadasad rupaya saso gunmaya guno vibhu. So that eva certainly idam this sasarj created agre before Bhagwan, the personal Godhead, Atam Maya, by his personal potency, Sat the cause, Asat the effect, Rupaya by form, Sa and Asau, the same Lord, Gunmaya, in the modes of material nature, Aguna, transcendental, Vibhu, the absolute. So, Sa evadam sasjagre Bhagwan Atam Maya, Sadasad Rupaya Sasau, Gunamaya Guno Vibhu. So in the beginning of the material creation, that absolute personal Godhead Vasudev, in his transcendental position, created the energies of cause and effect by his own eternal energy. So everything comes from the internal energy of the Lord. And at the beginning, he created cause and effect. So the position of the Lord is always transcendental because the causal and the effectual energy required for the creation of the material world were also created by him. He is unaffected, therefore, by the qualities of the material modes. His existence, form, activities, and paraphernalia all existed before the material creation. He is all spiritual and has nothing to do with qualities of the material world, which are qualitatively distinct from the spiritual qualities of the Lord. So, Krishna is all spiritual and has nothing to do, but there still is energies, there are these inferior energies. So let's just first of all, just clear up what we're doing on the Friday. Just want to mention a few things. So Srila Prabhupada explains, talking about worship, that Shri Krishna should be the only focus of worship, not even his expansions. Serving the pure devotees will manifest taste for hearing Krishna Katha. By regularly hearing Krishna Katha, Krishna personally purifies your heart. Now, you might say that Prabhupada says that only Sri Krishna should be the only focus of worship. But what about Ram? What about Nrsimhadev? What about Vishnu? How can we ignore them? How can we ignore Ram, for starters? But the Vedas explain that 1,000 names of Vishnu makes one name of Ram. And 3 names of Ram make one name of Krishna. So, in other words, if you go backwards, when you chant Krishna's name, you're automatically chanting the name of Ram 3 times. And you're automatically chanting Vishnu's name 1,000 times. It's all included in that name of Krishna. So we're not ignoring anyone. When you chant Krishna's name, everybody is included in there. This is the magic, all that. And then absolute truth versus God. So we could say, for example, that Vishnu or Narayan is God, who's like looking after everything, maintaining everything. He's in the heart, watching us. So, he's helping us as God. But then you have Krishna. And there's an example given that Krishna doesn't have anything in his hand to suggest that he's working. And this is what like a lot of the Western people like, that yes, he is definitely the supreme, because this person is just enjoying himself. That's definitely God as we expect him to be. He doesn't have to do anything. He's God. He's the boss. He doesn't have to do anything if he doesn't want to. Or he has his energies, his expansions, and his employees, his staff, his managers to do the work. Why should he do anything? He doesn't have to do anything then. And so he says Krishna doesn't have to do anything. Doesn't have anything in his hand to suggest he's working. Vishnu form has various paraphernalia in his hands. So they're busy, 4 hands. We need 4 hands sometimes. 4 hands, and there's so much going on, giving blessings and killing the miscreants, this and that. There's so many things going on. Lotus, conch shell to offer benedictions, mace and chakra to kill the demons. Now that's God. That's God. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Krishna is the Absolute Truth who manifests as God. So we discussed that he is the Absolute Truth in the first verse right from the beginning. So Krishna is the Absolute Truth. And name of Krishna is everything. Now this verse here, we're talking about cause and effect. So we all know about cause and effect. What you sow, you shall reap. We all familiar with that, and that's Krishna's laws. That's the Krishna. This cause and effect law, Krishna brings them about. When he makes the creation, there has to be, some kind of you have to be answerable, right? That this what you cause, what you sow, you shall reap. That system is there. It's not like that you can do anything you want, and there is no comeback on that. There's something that you're answerable for, and like Newton's laws, for every action there is a reaction. So in life as well, for every action there is a reaction. And people use examples like, if you make your bed, you sleep in it. Like these are like normal everyday sayings. And now the important thing is, so for every action there is a reaction, right? Cause and effect. Main thing is, so that's law of Krishna. We don't have any control over that. That's the law Krishna made. But then he has given us independence. So we have the independence to make the cause, what we cause, that will bring the effect. And now when you have the effect, what normally happens when you affect, we make another cause. If you're not happy with the effect, you make another cause. So it's very important. Okay, we cause something, the effect is there. Don't dig a bigger hole for yourself, right? Don't make it any worse. So you can turn these things around by acting or responding the right way in your favor. So, don't keep causing cause and effect. Just make life, just accumulate more and more karma. So we're trying to purify ourselves. We are listening to Bhagavatam, we are chanting, we are doing service, purifying our sins, right? Accumulated sins from millions and billions of births. So don't create any more sins. We have to slow down the process. So that is basically, now he's talking about that. And Srila Prabhupada explains that, so Krishna is the cause of everything. For every cause there will be an effect. The effect may come soon, or it may come at a very later stage. So you might think, well, I did this, nothing happened to me, but it will. Something will come, not necessarily straight away. Krishna knows when is the right time. It's a very complicated process. He knows when the right time to give you the effect, give you the accountability, which will help you to learn and get closer to him. So we cannot know all the causes, but Krishna knows everything past and future. So we might even forget, or might even realize that we caused something, but Krishna knows, and there's a record of everyone. There's unlimited living entities, and Krishna has a record of every living entity. So understanding the laws of Krishna, we could blame or speculate on many different causes, but ultimately we need to understand that whatever I'm getting is because of me. You can't, people blame God, or you gave, why you did this, it's unfair, I'm not a bad person. But, you're not a bad person, or at least you think you're not a bad person. What does everybody else think? And also, it could be from previous lives as well. So this cause and effect, they can happen from any life. You can go back many lives. That cause might come from there, or the effect. So if I don't want the effect, then I need to change myself, my behavior. For example, a man cutting the branch he's sitting on falls down and blames the soul or gravity. So if you're cutting the branch that you're making, you're causing problems for yourself, you cannot blame other people. If you keep blaming others, then you will never learn. So we have to take some responsibility. We have to take some accountability for action. So we have to be very careful how we act. With the marginal energies, we have choices. We have some independence, and it's quite dangerous. So we have to be very careful what choices we make. How we use that independence. We have to be very careful with that. So although we be happy or we have some independence, but in the wrong hands, that independence is dangerous. So we can always choose how to react to situations or effects. So that's what I'm saying, that if you have an effect, be careful how you react to it, because you might make things worse. The best way to react is with our mind, as man mana bhav mad bhakto, as Krishna says, always think of Krishna. He's creating this cause and effect. So something happens, we say, think, Krishna, this is Krishna karma, you have given me, it could have been a lot worse. Thank you for looking after me, and please protect me, and give me the guidance how to move forward. So that is our verse 30 and 31. Taya vilasita eshav eshu guneshu gunavan iva anta pravishta abati vigyanena vijaram vitaha. So taya, by them, vilasiteshu, although in the function, eshu, these, guneshu, the modes of material nature, gunavan, affected by the modes, eva, as if, anta, within, pravistha, entered into, abhati, appears to be, viganena, by the transcendental consciousness, vijaram bitaha, fully enlightened. So teya vilasiteshav eshu guneshu gunavaniva anta pravishta abhati viganena vijaram bitha. After creating the material substance, the Lord Vasudeva expands himself and enters into it. So once the material world is created, the material universe is created, it's just dead matter. It's inert. It really by itself, it doesn't do anything. So Lord Vasudeva expands himself and enters into it. And although he is within the material modes of nature and appears to be one of the created beings, he is always fully enlightened in his transcendental position. So the living entities are separated parts and parcels of the Lord, and the conditioned living entities who are unfit for the spiritual kingdom, which is us obviously, are strewn within the material world to enjoy matter to the fullest extent. As Paramatma and eternal friend of the living entities, the Lord, by one of his plenary portions, accompanies the living entities to guide them in their material enjoyment and to become witness to all activities. So basically, we're making a fool of ourselves, and Krishna is just like watching. It's like watching your kids too much sugar rush or just gone crazy, and you just watch them. What are they up to? So Krishna's watching. What are these people doing? Seriously. While the living entities enjoy the material conditions, the Lord maintains his transcendental position without being affected by the material atmosphere. In the Vedic literatures, Shruti, it is said that there are two birds in one tree. One of them is eating the fruit of the tree, while the other is witnessing the actions. The witness is the Lord, and the fruit eater is the living entity. The fruit eater or living entity has forgotten his real identity and is overwhelmed in the fruitic activities or the material condition. But the Lord, Paramatma, is always full in transcendental knowledge. That is the difference between the super soul and the conditioned soul. The conditioned soul, the living entity, is controlled by the laws of nature, while the Paramatma or the super soul is the controller of the material energy. So Paramatma, he's witnessing everything, sanctioning our desires, and the whole universe is running on our desires. He's sanctioning, even though it doesn't want us to do these things. He's like, when will they learn? But he still sanctions it because we have free will. So he says, well, fine, if that's what you want, but it's not really good for you. He just try to advise us from within. We might do something and then feel bad about it because Krishna is not happy inside. So that sort of reflects on us as well, that we feel that I shouldn't have done this, so why did I do this? Like that. So some of us want to enjoy with God. That's the material people in the spiritual world. They are in the spiritual world. Others want to enjoy like God or enjoy being God. Right? They are here in the material world prison. The Lord is the witness to actions, and every action we get is due to our past actions. So again, commit to cause and effect. So there's us, the Atma, there is the Paramatma in this material world. That's the spiritual part of the material world, and then the other, the five elements are the material part of the world. And that's what the world consists of, material and spiritual items. Now the difference between us, so if anybody thinks that we are Paramatma, there's like some religions think that we are God, but there's a difference between Paramatma and Atma, although they're made of the same spiritual ingredient, but there is a big difference between Atma and Paramatma, although we are similar in quality. The living entity wants to enjoy the material conditions. The super soul maintains his transcendental position. He doesn't have any interest in these material life or material conditions. Like two birds, the living entity is enjoying the fruits of the tree, while Paramatma is just witnessing. He doesn't get involved. But he's waiting for the living entity to turn around and just stop enjoying for a moment and turn around and give some attention to Paramatma. The fruit eater has forgotten his real identity, which is us, but the Paramatma is always in transcendental knowledge. The conditioned soul, the living entity, is controlled by the laws of nature made by Paramatma. The Paramatma is the controller of the material energy or of the material laws. So how different we are. So how can we say that we are same, although we are the same quality, but how can we say we are Param Atma? We just Atma, not Paramatma. That's the thing. So Krishna gives us the type of body to enjoy and also reminds how to enjoy it. Right? Even an animal cub, his example given by Srila Prabhupada, that Krishna gives us the type of body so we can enjoy ourselves because that's what we wanted, that's what we desired. Even an animal cub, let's say even a kitten, is just born, right? A puppy knows where to find his food. Right? Soon as they come out, the baby kitten and the puppy, soon as they're out, they can sort of crawl to the mother and they know that food is here. How does something that's just born know this? Even human children, they know what they want. They know where food is. So the human child automatically knows what to do as well. This is due to intuition. Who's giving the intuition? Obviously the Paramatma. So here's all the clues. How does a child, like a few hours old, knows he needs food and where to find the food, and he knows how to get it as well. So this is intuition. We're born with that intuition, whether you're human or an animal, just born with that intuition that Krishna has provided us. So that's 31. And 32, Yatahi avahito vanir da rushav ekasva yuneshu naneva bhati vishvatma bhuteshu cha tatha puman. So yatha, as much as, he exactly like, avahitaha, surcharged with, vanihi, fire, darushu, in wood, ekahavan, Svayuneshu, the source of manifestation, Nana Iva, like different entities, Bhati eliminates, Vishvatma, the Lord as Paramatma, Bhuteshu, in the living entities, Cha and Tatha, in the same way, Puman, the absolute person, Yatahi Avha Hito Vanir, Darushav Ekha Svan Yuneshu, Naneva Bhati Vishvatma, Bhuteshu, Cha Tatha, Puman. The Lord as Supersoul pervades all things, just as fire permeates wood, and so he appears to be of many varieties, though he is the absolute one without a second. So purport, Lord Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality Godhead, by one of his plenary parts expands himself all over the material world, and his existence can be perceived even within the atomic energy. So he's in every atom. Matter, antimatter, proton, neutron, etc. are all different effects of the Paramatma feature of the Lord. As from wood, fire can be manifested, or as butter can be churned out of milk, so also the presence of the Lord as Paramatma can be felt by the process of legitimate hearing and chanting of the transcendental subjects, which are especially treated in the Vedic literatures like the Upanishads and Vedanta. This is amazing. So just once again, the process of legitimate hearing and chanting of the transcendental subjects, which are especially treated in the Vedic literatures like Upanishads and Vedanta. So there's fire in the wood. You look at wood and think, no, where is the fire? If there's fire, I would have burnt the wood, but it's there, right? When you rub woods together, fire is created. Or there's butter in the milk, but we cannot see that butter, right? You have to churn it. Same. In this sadhana we're doing we're churning process, right? And the Krishna is there, is within. He's not. Krishna is not in his name. Krishna is the name. This is the amazing thing. Krishna. So Krishna. Somebody says, so you say, what is Krishna? Krishna is where the Lord resides or something. In that name. No, he is the name. So he's there. So we just got to churn the holy name, and we will feel the presence of the Lord. The Lord can be realized through oral reception of the transcendental message, and that is the only way to experience the transcendental subject. So we see him through our ears. As fire is kindled from wood by another fire, the divine consciousness of man can similarly be kindled by another divine grace. So His Divine Grace Spiritual Master can kindle the spiritual fire from the wood-like living entity by imparting proper spiritual messages injected through the receptive ear. So from fire comes fire, right? So that's what he's saying here, that somebody has to give you that knowledge. Somebody has to give the bhakti or the seed of bhakti. They give you that and you can grow it. His Divine Grace Spiritual Master can kindle the spiritual fire from the wood-like living entity by imparting proper spiritual message injected through the receptive air. So the wood has to be ready, right? It has to be dry. If the wood is wet, soggy, then it doesn't matter how much fire you put onto it, it's going to make no difference whatsoever, right? So the wood has to be ready, or the grass, sometimes they use the example like the straw has to be ready, has to be dry to receive the message or receive the fire. Therefore, one is required to approach the proper spiritual master with receptive ears only, and thus divine existence is gradually realized. The difference between animality and humanity lies in this process only. A human being can hear properly, whereas an animal cannot. So I think what it means there is that human being can understand what they're hearing completely, especially transcendental knowledge, whereas the animals can only just take instructions or certain amount of instructions. They don't have that intelligence available to them that they can understand and hear properly the message that is being given to them. What it does it mean, and what do we have to do with that message? So it's explained that even though the super soul, we can't see spiritual matter with material objects, best microscopes or telescopes. The only way you can understand is through the scriptures, through the parampara. So the parampara is very important as well, because the knowledge that we are getting seeps down the parampara system as we are doing. That's very important. So when you're getting the knowledge, make sure it's not somebody's own philosophy. That could have man-made philosophy. We're not looking for man-made philosophy. We're looking for Krishna's philosophy that Krishna himself gave to Brahma. So we're looking for that philosophy that comes down the parampara. And when we take that knowledge and we use it in the right way, then the mercy also flows down the parampara. It comes, from the internal potency of the Lord. It will flow right to us. So that is very important, and we have to be connected to the parampara. And how do we connect ourselves to parampara? We are connected with Srila Prabhupada. We are connected with our Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada's teachings. So we have to be connected to those teachings. This is why we are reading these purports. We have to be connected to these teachings. We take the knowledge and then we apply it, and then the mercy will flow as well. So we're connected through the knowledge, and once we apply that knowledge, it's not good just having knowledge on its own is not good. Okay, it's just words on paper. It's when you use it, when you apply it, that's what that's real knowledge. Because knowledge itself is just gyan. We don't want just gyan, we want vigyan, right? We want to realize that gyan. So vigyan is when the knowledge can be used in a practical way. So we want vigyan, right? Scientific process. So we take the knowledge, we use it and turn it into vigyan. So thank you so much. Let's have a little discussion, and we'll talk more on Wednesday about this 33 and 34, and then that will conclude the chapter 2. Hare Krishna. So would like to hear from you all. Sorry? And who we have? Pundikash Prabhu is gone. I think that's what you're saying. Yeah? Okay. I'd like to hear from Kiran Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Caught me off guard there, but no worries. I think some of the key things for me is, we come to class after class after class. Having knowledge on its own can just remain redundant. The application of wisdom and knowledge is the key. It's no good just being an aspirant or a student, but we have to be a student of substance who puts the knowledge into practice. And it is only that way we can break the cycle of cause and effect, because that cycle of cause and effect has to be broken, because all we're doing is accruing more and more karma for ourselves. We have to find a way that we are reducing our karma, and hence we are not having the opportunity to be reborn again. Because the way this can occur is that wisdom and that spiritual knowledge should change us, should transform us, should change our behavior and our attitude. Those attitudinal behavior and changes will transform us, so that we don't keep repeating sins of the past. God is very merciful. Us as the Atma, with the fruit eater, He's observing everything that we do. It's up to you. I've given you free will. Do what you want. But use that free will in a way which is productive to you, productive to others in society, and hence, over time, we can be liberated from this prison. God is very merciful. He is playing golf. He's just doing everything as he wants to. But the action has to be with us. We have to make the intrinsic changes, the attitudinal and behavioral changes, to bring about major changes in our lives. Understanding that you can see milk, but within the milk, there is butter. But it's only through the churning process that the butter will fructify. It is only through a process of deep realization that we realize the wood on its own is not just wood, but it is the source of fire. It is this realization that will bring the great change to us becoming close as the Atma to the Paramatma and closer to divinity. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice. Deepak Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I would say that, again, following on from the way that Bhagavatam started, and we did chapter 1 and chapter 2, then there were reasons that why initially Bhagavatam is supreme and then why Krishna is supreme. And I think these three shlokas further solidify that effect. Like, for example, the shloka number 30, it says that in the beginning of the material creation, the absolute personality of Godhead, which is Vasudeva Krishna, in his transcendental position, he created the energies of the cause and effect by his own literal internal energy. And in the next one, it says that after creating the material substance, the Lord expands himself and enters into it. So it's just like that we are solidifying that effect that this all of the not only this Milky Way, this universe is like it says on the cover of Canto 1, the Golok Vrindavan and all these Vaikunthas and the millions of universes, everything was created by God. And once he created it, then he expanded himself and he entered into it. It just clears all the concepts in anybody's mind that he is the creator, he is the supreme enjoyer. And then it's just like when ultimately kids, they go on a beach and they build sand castles, and then they ultimately need something to kind of play with, and then within the sand castle, then from that same sand they build some small characters that, oh, somebody's going in or somebody's going out, or sandcastle or a doll house, things like that. So we are like a doll house for him, and he's the ultimate creator to think that he is part and parcel, and he's the one that who sorry, we are the controller and not he. I think that will be a foolish statement on our part. And 33, obviously, it ultimately, sorry, 32, it just says that, okay, we have to when we have to know about him, or all of his you can say expansions, they need to come from a bona fide spiritual master, which is extremely important, as you rightly said, not from somebody who is trying to kind of give his own explanations or carry his own personal agenda into the explanation of either Śrīmad-Bhāgavad-Gita or Bhagavatam. So we have to hear it from them. And a very important point was the difference between animals and humanity lies in the process. A human being can hear, whereas an animal cannot. And as you rightly said, they can just follow. Whereas we can hear, we can assimilate, and then we can follow on. And kind of this is a great opportunity for us to get out of this prison and realize God. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very nice, Prabhu. Hina Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Very nice verses covered here, and very nice points already been made. I think for me, I was thinking about how in the first verse, the Lord, how the Lord created the Lord created the law of cause and effect. And I was thinking about how such a very sophisticated system, or you could call it an algorithm, it never really goes wrong. It's foolproof. You can't bypass it. And ultimately, we are responsible for the fruits and for the shortcomings in our life. And then I like from the next verse around how the Lord's the witness in the heart of a living entity. And I was thinking about he's like the eternal CCTV, not just in this life, but in every life. And also that's quite comforting because no one is ever on their own. He's there regardless of where you go, life after life, different bodies, etc. But once one turns, when there's a glimmer of interest in him, or one starts to turn towards him, and then he takes control when he starts to direct, give guidance to that entity. And then also the fact that how the Lord is in everything, and that he's in every atom, which you touched upon as well in the verse. And in this truth is such a nice meditation. In fact, it's quite mind-blowing that he's in the fibers of everything in the material world. He's an extension. Everything around us is an extension of his energy. His hand is behind everything. And that knowledge actually can start to change the way that you perceive the world around you, because you start to see the Lord everywhere once you start to look at things in that way. So yeah, that was just a few of my thoughts. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, when Sutta Goswami, he was going to talk about the creation, the sages, some of them didn't want to hear about the creation. They said, no, please tell us about Krishna, tell us some pastimes, one of his stories, glorify Krishna. Okay, yes, this is what Bhagavatam does, it glorifies Krishna, but then he has to also back up why is Krishna great. And Krishna's greatness, for us at least, it comes to his creation. How much detail there is in the creation. So, when we have to understand Krishna's position before we can say, yes, you're right, he's worth glorifying. So we have to know about him, his biodata. We have to know about him that, yes, is worthy of that, what you're saying. So that inspires us, gives awe and reverence for Krishna, and we want to serve him, we want to be with him, we want to work for him. So that's why there's so much time given. I mean, Maharaj Parikshit, he only had 7 days to. Why would they be talking about creation if he wasn't important? There's a very important part of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and creation is discussed in various cantos, and there was a big reason for that. Just show us, what Krishna is creating, what he has done. And in fact, if you think about it, Krishna, we are his rebellious children. So we have a rebellious child, we say to him, okay, so you do what you are happy with, you go and live your life, be happy, that's what we want for you, to be happy, go, and they go and live the independent life. But not Krishna. Krishna says, you're a rebellious child, look, I have so much land, I have so much space, I'm going to give you 1/4. Okay, you take this 1/4 of land, because the spiritual world is 3 times big as the material world. So he said, I'll give you 1/4 of my land, even though you're rebellious. You take this 1/4 land, and I even build you, material worlds that the fruits are there, everything is there, you can enjoy. Although it's a prison, but you still have some kind of life there, right? So he's given us 1/4 of his land to even these rebellious children. He says, look, okay, you go and enjoy up there. When you've had enough, I'll even show you how to come back home. How much mercy. It's not like he's abandoned us totally. So, oh, you're rebellious, just go away, don't talk to me again. He hasn't abandoned us. He's given us so much, even as rebellious children. This is amazing. Amazing. Hare Krishna. Okay, so Parveen Mataji, Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry, Pranam. Very nice summaries by everyone. So I was thinking, we don't want to be like animals, because in the last line it said, animals can't hear, but like some humans are like animals. When you talk of God, and they don't want to hear. So we've got that tendency to be animals. So we don't want to be. All the acharyas, spiritual masters, they have given us so much knowledge, and we have to connect to the parampara. Then only we can have relationship with Krishna and serve him. And bhakti can only come from someone who has got bhakti. So the importance of a disciplic succession, then we're getting knowledge as it is coming from Krishna himself. And it was very nicely you explained the difference between Gyan and Vigyan. I knew the words, but I never understood the meaning. So, and Mataji, Radharani Mataji always say, whatever we hear, we have to apply the knowledge. Otherwise, it's just lost. So, thank you so much. And just like you're talking about the creation, it just gives you so much joy to, hear about Krishna, how he's created everything. He's always been there, but with his eternality, he created everything. And we are so fortunate that he's always there. And then you gave example of the little children, when they're born, they're given intuition to find where the milk is. And it's in the same way, Paramatma is always with us, and he's always guiding us. And we always say, oh yes, like when I didn't know about this Paramatma residing within us, we used to say, there is andar se awaaz aati hai na, you get an idea what to do, but we overrule it. We use our free will because we still want to do it the way we like. With I want to do it this way. So we should always say we should listen to our inner voice, that is God, Krishna guiding us. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Krishna is unlimited in every way. His tolerance and patience is also unlimited, and he's been tolerating us, for millions of births. But he never gives up on us. That's the amazing thing. Suresh Prabhu, would you like to add something, or anything that stood out for you? Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna. Anything you
Hello,
like
can
reading, Prabhu?
yeah,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Anji. Just as Mataji just said, we have been, I mean, especially I have been an animal and I have ears, but I want to utilize it and I want to listen to these prayers, listen to Bhagavad-Gita and apply in my life. And that's all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, and it's said that whether you understand or not, it doesn't matter. When you're hearing, just the hearing process itself is purifying. So in trying to understand the essence, just hearing it, even if you don't understand the essence, just hearing, this kathas about Krishna, his glorification, that alone is purifying, because as Prabhupada says, because we can hear. Animal might not appreciate it, but we can hear. Whether we understand it or not, it still has a good effect on us, and it purifies us from within, because the hearing goes to the heart and it purifies it. Thank you, Prabhu.
And also, Prabhuji, hearing is the last sense that goes. Even when the person is dying, they can still hear. So Krishna is so merciful. He's saying, just keep listening to my name. So, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, hearing is very important. When you're sleeping, how do you wake up from hearing, right? By hearing, you wake up. If somebody's jumping in front of you and you can't hear them, then you still be sleeping. But when they say something, then you awaken. So hearing, materially and spiritually, awakens you. Thank you, Mataji. Ajay Gauraya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hearing is not only just the first process of devotional service, but Bhagavad-Gita and so on and so forth, but it's really key in just everything, that the quality of hearing that we apply really does affect our progress. So when we first come to Krishna consciousness, we might be keen to understand, but it might be difficult to understand. But if we are at least trying, then Krishna will provide the facility that either we gain the intelligence to understand it, or we meet someone that can help us decipher what we're trying to understand. As we progress, then it becomes more incumbent on us to try to actually figure out what it is that's confusing us, or what we need to do next to actually progress in devotional service. Krishna is always there, as explained in the purport, as Paramatma. He's always there looking to sanction, as he witnesses everything we do. But as we do progress within bhakti, it's more a case that if we do what's better for our Krishna consciousness, then we sanction quicker. Whereas if we do what's not good for our bhakti, that will be denied to us quicker. That's one interesting symptom of progression in bhakti. That's also sign of Krishna's mercy as well, that when he sees that you've shown genuine interest in actually reestablishing that loving relationship with him again, that he will create circumstances that aid you in your bhakti. It's not just, okay, you read, you hear class, then how you actually associate with the devotees, where you are taken to, where your interest lies. Krishna's guiding hand is always there. You just become more aware of it the further you go to bhakti, and once you reach a truly elevated form, then you might be lucky to have Krishna's darshan. So Krishna, we can never understand truly how merciful Krishna is. We just have to be appreciative of that fact and be willing to accept that mercy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Yes, the more we learn about Krishna, the more we understand, wow, what he's doing for us, even as rebellious children. That's something when you're not in Krishna consciousness, you don't think about at all. You ultimately think we have a right on the air we breathe, the sun, the moon, and everything that grows. We think we ultimately have a right on everything. People eating animals, they think we have a right to eat the animals because we are superior. Everything we just automatically assume that it's although we might realize it's made for us, but somebody made it for us. At least appreciate that part, that somebody made it for us. And this is Krishna consciousness, becoming conscious of Krishna, that what it's actually doing. And like I said, you say name of Krishna, you automatically including everyone in there, all his energies, all his expansions. Brother Rani?
Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. And beautiful, beautiful way this second chapter is coming to an end. The verses are so appropriate, Krishna even knows which verse to put where, as Vyasadeva when he came, how he wrote. Originally, Bhagavatam was given only in 4 shlokas to Brahmaji, Chatushloki, and how Vyasadeva, when Krishna came as Vyasadeva, and he expanded it to 18,000 verses, because he knew in the Kali Yuga we'll have crazy minds. 4 verses won't be enough. We've got so many desires. We are in different modes of natures, and we want different flavors. So Krishna is so merciful and so, I would say, concerned about us as well, that how to make us come back to him. Well, for example, we know which food is healthy for us, which vitamins to take, which minerals to have in our food, but we still sometimes go for the wrong choices. We go for the junk. So this is how I was thinking, that there is everything out there. Bhakti is also part of creation, but even after knowing so many things about bhakti, we do tend to deviate from the path of bhakti. But he is so merciful, he's so careful, that he created everything in such a way that whether we get deviated from our path for some time, somehow or other we'll come back to it. So, and how he is just witnessing everything within us, and it's really embarrassing that life after life after life we've been doing so many mistakes. For example, in the schools, if a child is unruly or not performing well, there's a system in the classroom. The teacher goes through that system. They're asked to leave the class if they're very unruly, or just nowadays I was reading that nowadays they just suspend them for weeks and weeks, so they don't care. But here, even the unruly ones who have been causing nuisance in Krishna's class, birth after birth, we are given chance to come back, enjoy all the facilities, have everything, have food, have air to breathe, have water to drink, have sunshine, and holidays to go with our parents when we are growing up. Everything is there for us. And now, look at this. We have got internet. Even if you're not keen, just if somebody who doesn't want to hear anything about bhakti, occasionally something on bhakti will pop up in front of them. So how merciful is Krishna?
Mm.
So it really, really embarrasses you when you try to think of the verses, what the verses are trying to tell us. Because I always look at the ground level. Don't look at the big philosophy and give the big words. Sometimes just understand it at a child's level. Then you understand that, oh God, the flavors of bhakti are available to us in the form of so many spiritual masters in our lineage, in our parampara. All of them have got different style of speaking. So you might get into the likening of certain spiritual master style. So Krishna has thought of so much for us. Not just that as Vyasadeva, Krishna came and just wrote the Bhagavad-Gita, Bhagavatam, and just left it there. No, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam wasn't just left there. There were so many sampradayas came, so many acharyas came, so many bhajans came, so many interpretations. And like now, we are also trying to discuss this at our level. So Krishna is so merciful, and yes, let us all make most of our time on this earth, and like Prabhupada says, give this one life to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Krishna is so merciful. He sent us Srila Prabhupada all the way into the Western world. We've left India. We come here into the Western society, and there is no way, we sort of diverting toward Christianity, being in this society here. I think the furthest we would probably go is Christianity. It's because they at school, they were singing hymns and glorifying Jesus Christ. So we might have really want to be religious. We might have got to that. Okay, our parents did take us here and there, different religions or what they knew, going to the temple, but we never really had our heart into it, right? And just do it because something that we need to do from time to time, but never try to understand any philosophy or anything in a serious way. And Srila Prabhupada, like Radharani says, that now the Hare Krishnas are everywhere in every country. People who don't even want to know, they end up seeing. Prabhupada has given us this book distribution, is given us Harinam Sankirtan. So when you're out, even if you don't believe in all this, you will see the Hare Krishnas chanting and singing. At least you will hear something. You cannot escape. And when you do hear, just the automatic purification is taking place. So Krishna is working on everyone, and he's trying to help all his children. So thank you so much. We'll catch up again on Wednesday. And Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
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 Hare Hare Krishna.
Krishna.